that, of course, is a story for another day, and I'll see you, and we'll talk about that down the road. Welcome, wrestling fans. You got the show Bill Schuyler here at One Wrestling's WWE NXT review. Let's jump right into it. We started off with a nice recap of last week's taking over of Columbus, Ohio. They had pretty much a rundown of the entire show, and with that, we are now back to the home stage of Full Sail University. We open up with a championship match. That's right, just as William Regal promised last week, the women's championship was on the line. Alexa Bliss versus the champion Sasha Banks. We had immediate great smack talk coming from the champ. Sasha Banks has just got that it factor, and it oozes out of her very pores. She is one of the best on the roster. Bliss was going for quick takedowns, quick pin attempts, trying to take the champ out early as hell, but Sasha, her mean streak woke up literally and was off and running, and she was all over Alexa Bliss. But Bliss, to her abilities, refused to go down that easy for the champ, and it was back and forth with Banks and Bliss. Numerous near falls for Bliss, coming very close at several times for taking the title off of Sasha, but it came down to the Banks statement, submission hold. Alexa Bliss could not get out of the hold and had nothing more she could do but to tap out. Your winner via submission, Sasha Banks. We then had a vignette of the champ. That's right, Kevin Owens talking directly to Finn Balor, telling him how he was going to end the rise of Balor, that the two of them started out around the same time, that Balor decided to come out dressed as a demon with his makeup and gimmicks and special effects, intimidating. He said he was not intimidated by the demon, that while he was doing all of that, Kevin Owens was coming in and beating people up and taking that NXT title, and he welcomed the demon to make his appearance in this match tonight during their championship run. We then had a great filming showing the entire career in NXT so far of Kevin Owens. And, Kevin Owens is nothing short of the future of the WWE. We're talking the main roster. He is going to be a mega superstar. I look forward to him facing many of the top talents out there, everyone from John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, and I would extremely, without a hesitation, want to see two men, and the one I already said was John Cena, and the second one is I want to see him go up against the Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. But I digress. We then get Bayley and Emma backstage in the locker room. Emma telling her that, as I told you last week, these fans are not going to help you out and you lost your match. Welcome, trying to bring her over to the dark side, if you will. But Bayley got up strong and then kind of indignant towards Emma, telling her that the fans helped get her title shots. The fans have brought her to where she is, and out of nowhere, Emma just slaps her straight across the face. Bayley is left laying there on the bleacher seat in complete and utter disbelief. And we went on to our next segment, which were very heavy on promos for WrestleMania. A lot of vignettes, a lot of interviews in this week's show. I'll give them their, for the ability and the fact that this is an hour show. I really don't think they needed to pump so much commercialization for WrestleMania. Obviously, if you have the network, you know WrestleMania is on Sunday. You know WrestleMania is not costing you a dime. There's no need to keep pushing it because you're not watching NXT unless you have the network. And if you have the network, you have WrestleMania. But with that, they continued to push WrestleMania promos and commercials one after another. We then get an interview with Tyler Breeze where he's beginning to talk about, doing his whole shtick about Prince Pretty and the like. And out of nowhere, Hideo Itami shows up and tells him that he has to beat him. And next week, it is a 2 out of 3 falls match between Tyler Breeze and Hideo Itami. That's right, 2 out of 3 falls. Itami doesn't wait for an answer. He spins off, leaves, and Breeze is like, but I didn't say yes. Doesn't matter. 2 out of 3 falls next week. Possible match of the year candidate between these two. Nothing better than an old-fashioned, old-school 2 out of 3 falls match. And the way that Tyler Breeze has been going, the way that Hideo Itami, we know what he can do in the ring. I am hoping and praying that this is the break for Hideo Itami, that he just snaps out of this funk, this holding pattern that NXT has held him in, and that he utterly decimates Tyler Breeze, taking both pinfalls in a row and marching himself on for his title shot coming up down the road to the winner of tonight's main event between Finn Balor and Kevin Owens. We then have a major situation involving Enzo Amore and Big Cass with Carmella. They're sitting there shooting the breeze, if you will, going back and forth, and Team Bam walks up and says they don't want any problems with the boys. They were here to apologize. They never meant to bring any disrespect to a beautiful woman like Carmella. As a matter of fact, they brought her a gift. And with that, they open up and give her a box. And she's like, oh my God, this looks like jewelry. And they open the box, and inside is a gorgeous, some type of gemstone bracelet. And Team Bam walks away. And of course, Enzo is like, this is fugazi. This is no good. It feels a little light. I don't think this is real. Yada, yada, yada. Continuing to build up the beef between these two teams. I'm expecting to see this go like a little back in the school old day, where it's going to come down to, is Carmella going to side up with Team Bam on her own? Is she going to stay faithful to her boys? Or is this going to be one of those matches where the winner gets the valet for 30 days? One of those, back in the day, precious baby doll moments. I'm eagerly anticipating to see which way they go here in NXT. And with that, we then have, another vignette, another film thing for Finn Balor, going on about his career, what he's done in the business, what he's planning on doing to the champion tonight. And finally, it leaves us with our main event That's right, the main event of the evening already. Yes, we are down to literally, we had only 2 matches tonight. 2 matches. But being that this is NXT, these 2 matches made up for all of SmackDown and pretty much all of Raw, because that's how talented this roster is on NXT. But again, I digress. No disrespect intended to that main roster. But we're here to talk about NXT and nothing else but NXT. It is the champion, Kevin Owens, going up against Finn Balor. Finn Balor comes out first, sans the makeup, no special effects. He is here to do nothing but fight and go up against the champion and take that gold belt and put it around his waist. Kevin Owens makes his way to the ring, playing old school heel, keeping it outside the ring before either opponent had the chance to even lock up. Owens went to a ground and pound game plan, wearing Balor down and keeping him from going airborne. But of course, Finn Balor is a little too seasoned for that, and he quickened the pace, trying to wear down the champ and eliminate the weight and strength difference between himself and Kevin Owens. Owens managed to strike Balor on the apron with a hangman across the top rope. Owens now changed up his attack plan, being a bit more methodical, using more strikes and more offense. And at every opportunity he had, he continued to work on Finn Balor, again keeping him on the ground, not allowing him to get to that top rope where he can be so dangerous. Both men went to the outside. The champ attempted a power bomb, one of those apron power bombs on Finn Balor, but he countered after and returned to the ring. Balor went for a crucifix pin attempt, and Owens was able to counter that with a horrific side slam. Balor went right back on the offense. He hit the double foot stomp on a downed Owens, but the champ kicked out, and Owens attempted a comeback, but Balor hit a Pele kick out of nowhere as the champ went directly down to the mat. Balor kept taking the fight to the champ and managed to hit a Sunday Bloody Sunday, and Owens kicked out yet again. Seems to be nothing that Balor could do could keep the champ down for that 3 count. Finn Balor injured his knee as Owens sidestepped a drop kick, but regardless of Owens' attack on his knee, Balor pulled out and lickety-split double foot stomp from the mat onto a prone Owens. That wounded knee of Balor just continued to hamper his offense. He got to the top rope and hit the coup de grace, but his knee buckled when he landed, and he failed to make the cover. The champ hit a pop-up power bomb, and he got the 1, 2, 3, and the winner and still your NXT champion, Kevin Owens. Fantastic match. A nice long match. These guys got to pull off a lot. It was not a 5-star match by any stretch of the imagination. I expect a lot more between these 2 men, and I know we're going to see a lot more coming up down the road. My problem, again, we only had 2 matches tonight. I mean, we could have fit in at least 1 more match, just to give it a little bit more, a little more action. And all this information going about the WrestleMania weekend, what they failed to discuss was they're having a live NXT full card event on Friday night going into Access and WrestleMania, but WWE's dropping the ball and they're not airing the show on the network. I was very disappointed to hear this up to the last moment. There was word that they were going to air it on the network, and now I guess they've decided that they did not want to take anything away from the WrestleMania event itself, and they are not going to air this NXT card. But if you're a fan and you're there, you're going to be able to see this NXT. And if you've never seen NXT before, if you haven't had the opportunity, like most, to see it live in the audience, you're going to be right there, able to see all the superstars in NXT doing their best to get their names out there, to get themselves as much of a pop as possible during WrestleMania weekend. And it's going to be one heck of a weekend. All the superstars are going to be there. WrestleMania is always the event, and I'm glad to see that the guys from NXT at least are going to be able to perform on that weekend. Again, I said there was too many vignettes and too many WrestleMania commercials. But with that, I mean, it is what it is, and it's a business, and they got to do what they have to do. What we are going to do is this. We got a little bit of news, not much coming off, and I didn't expect much here going into the NXT weekend. But Kevin Owens was live on the Chad Duke CBS Wrestling radio show, and he said he expects Adam Cole and Cedric Alexander from Ring of Honor, that they would be perfect additions to the NXT roster, kind of like a wink-wink, because the word on the street is these two gentlemen are in line to be signed some point over the summer to NXT. And on top of that, he also put out an open challenge. That's right, an open challenge to a yet unsigned wrestler, Samoa Joe. That's right, Kevin Owens said he will face Samoa Joe anywhere, anytime for the title in NXT, or without the title. He doesn't care. He wants to face Samoa Joe. The only other NXT news we have is that it's all but officially been announced that the Briscoe brothers from Ring of Honor are NXT bound and are expected to make their debut right after SummerSlam here on the network for NXT, and I am very, very interested to see exactly how they handle the Briscoe brothers in NXT. Times are changing in the WWE. Times are changing in NXT. The days of that watered-down PG era are quickly coming to an end, and we are launching past PG-13, PG-14, and we're getting real close to rated R. We won't get that far. The rated R superstar and those kind of days are something from way in the past. I don't see it happening, but I will tell you this. On the network, I don't see why a promotion like NXT can't take that to that next level, because they're not dealing with sponsors. That's strictly the WWE. That's just my call. I don't make decisions for the WWE or NXT. I'm in this just for the fun. And with that, shouts outs as always to the boss, Bill Apter. Follow him at Apter1 on Twitter, YouTube, Apter Chat. Catch up on all the great interviews that Bill Apter has now and in the past. Also to my Can-Am Wrestling brothers. That's right, Andre _Corbeil and Big Ray at Big Ray's show. They got a pre-WrestleMania preview of who they think is going to take the wins and the losses. Check it out this weekend. My partner, Billy Ray Hustle. Follow him at Billy Ray Valentine. Old School Hustle and Show is coming your way very, very soon. That's right, it's going to be Triple H, King of Kings or Fraud. You know me, Triple H is my man. I am backing Triple H up in this, and I'm going up against Billy Ray, and we're going to see which one of us can prove to you, the fans, who is the man. Is he the King of Kings? Is he the game? Is he the cerebral assassin? Or is he just a B-plus player, a fraud, as Billy Ray seems to want to put out there? The game is everything and anything in the business. But I digress with that. I'll see you guys next week. WrestleMania Sunday night. Do not miss it. And with that, I'll see you